Hey everyone, it's Brad Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel here, and yeah, my mood definitely has changed from a couple weeks ago. As if you recall, a couple weeks ago, I made my video where I felt that it was time for the Calgary Flames to shake the tree here. As I explained in that video what I mean by that, and Pierre McGuire, when he said that phrase on the morning radio show that I listened to at the time, that phrase has stuck with me. I felt a couple weeks ago that was the time for the Calgary Flames to shake the tree, but not too much from what Daryl Sutter did 10 years ago when he traded Dion Phaneuf and Noah Jokinen away. However, now my mood's definitely changed. That looking at the trade deadline, which is under 72 hours as of this recording here, I'm almost thinking now the Calgary Flames, I actually would be surprised if the Flames actually do anything major at said trade deadline. Anything that's going to warrant me being in a hurry to make a video and talk about the trade here. And the reason why I feel that the Calgary Flames aren't going to really be doing much at the NHL Trade Deadline, or I'll be really surprised if you do, and now that I said that I'm going to put this out here, they'll do something major at the trade deadline that'll surprise you. But it's a combination of, when you look at the history of the Calgary Flames under Brad Treliving, and the fact that the Flames are in that kind of middle spot where, they're only a few points behind to lead the Pacific Division and have home ice advantage, at least in the first couple rounds, to being, a couple points out from not making the playoffs, or, what's been the case all season, that the Calgary Flames have played inconsistent all season, where some games they look like the team that looked like last year, and other times they look like a team that's not going to be making the playoffs this year. And I felt now, from 2 weeks ago when I made my Shake the Tree video to now, I feel that some of those inconsistencies have been there, but at least the Calgary Flames have shown some signs that they've at least somewhat figured out their scoring funk there. But then also what muddies the waters is that we had a couple of injuries on defense. Where Mark Giordano, apparently, I'm hearing that he said he was out for a couple of weeks, because when I made that video a couple of weeks ago, he just got hurt, and they said he was only going to be out for a couple of weeks, and I said only because it could have been worse. There's word that he's going to join the team, as I know, that he's going to join the team on this upcoming road trip, which means that he's able to play. And then Travis Hamonic is still in the IR, so we've definitely been without our top defenseman, to the point that we've begrudgingly had to play Michael Stone in the top four. And then we have been getting more balanced scoring from our bottom two lines there. I mean, there's still, people seem to rat on Johnny Gaudreau, and I feel that, he could potentially be worth shopping around here, but it's not going to be a trade deadline deal there. Because if you look at the history of Brad Treliving as general manager here, he makes his biggest trades either the draft and the offseason there. I mean, the biggest trades that come to my mind that we've made was Dougie Hamilton ×2, when we traded for Dougie Hamilton, and then we traded him away. Those are two big trades there. And then the Neil for Lucic swap there. Those all happened in the offseason there, and I don't expect him to be making anything major at this point now, because despite the fact that the Pacific Division has loaded up here, I mean, sure, it would have been nice if he could have gotten Alec Martinez from Los Angeles there to shore up our defense, but he was actually going to Vegas, and they gave up a couple second-round picks for him. And that's the other thing. Apparently the draft is supposedly deep this year. So it'll definitely be, a high price to consider parting way with our high draft pick here. And as of this recording here, Calgary has a pick in every round, because they have their own picks except for the fourth round, which Calgary traded away last season when we got Oscar Fanenberg, and it wasn't worth me making a video on talking about trading away a mid-round pick for a depth defenseman. And I'm leaning towards that. I think Calgary is going to make that kind of trade. Nothing enough that's going to make me warrant to make a video about it, but just to mention it in the next episode of my Calgary Flames in 6. But then Calgary got that fourth round pick back when we traded away Michael Frolik, and the reason why I made that video was because Michael Frolik was rumored to be traded for a while there, and then we traded him, but there were other trades that happened in that day that allowed me to add on to that video that set up that trade. So I'm thinking we could use a depth defenseman, but I'm expecting another Oscar Vandenberg type trade. And then the other years that we looking back from Brad Treliving, that when he has made trades at the deadline year, has been trading away assets for draft picks. And I mean, the only players that we could potentially see get traded, I just can't think of anyone right now, because I don't think we are going to trade any of our defensemen. I know TJ Brodie and Travis Hamonic are unrestricted free agents this year and definitely could give us a big return there. But with Travis Hamonic on the IR and now TJ Brodie being counted on even more in the top four there, without Giordano and Hamonic there, I don't think we're going to be trading him right now, especially, when we're forced to play Michael Stone in the top four there. And then when it comes to forwards here, I mean, I know that it could be tempting to look at possibly shopping around Johnny Gaudreau, but I think that's not a trade if we were to make it, and I think less likely he's going to get traded. That's an off-season draft move, because deadline is like frantically, doing that last-minute shopping at Christmas or Black Friday there, and the trade deadline is definitely overrated. It is like Black Friday or Boxing Day, where I feel it's overrated there, and you might make an impulse and make mistakes there. And I mean, that's definitely something we should do in the off season if we were going to do it, but he still has term. I mean, the only guys that we could potentially trade that might warrant something is Sam Bennett or Mark Jankowski, and that's just my speculation on my part here. And there's been rumors that Calgary's been possibly looking at adding Kyle Palmieri or Wayne Simmons, both from the Devils there, now that Alec Martinez and Tyler Foley, I mean, he would have been ideal there, but definitely that was a steep price the Canucks had to pay. I mean, we would have to trade away like a prospect, maybe a roster player and a couple high draft picks, put a condition on one pick that if he resigns, you'll get that pick, and that was essentially what the Canucks traded there. But I'm not expecting Calgary to be doing much at the trade deadline now that we're still in the thick of the race, and we're still in the better position where we are, being a couple points either out from first place or still have to watch behind, especially Nashville and Winnipeg there. But at least we're not, trying to catch up from the outside looking in. But I just want to give my little take on. I'm just saying I'm not expecting the Calgary Flames to do much at the trade deadline 72 hours out here. It would definitely surprise me if we, trade away a roster player. I mean, yeah, we have some cap space, but I think we had that potential opportunity a couple weeks ago there when I made that Shake the Tree video there. But at this point now, because we have some injuries and we have been picking up our offense slightly, and we're just where we are in the standings, I mean, I don't think we're in a position to push all the chips in. And it's just high risk, high risk, high reward potentially there. But you remember the trade deadline in 2009, where everyone said, "Oh, the Flames, they stole the trade deadline. They're going to go far in the playoffs." When we got Ole Jokinen and Jordan Leopold there, yeah, that didn't turn out, especially when we had injuries on the blue line there. So, what do you think? I'm going to be surprised if the Calgary Flames do anything big at the trade deadline that's going to warrant me making a video on this, or it wouldn't even surprise me at all if Calgary does not do anything, because now they're in a position where they don't really need to do anything right now, and we'll just see how things go through the season there. And I think Calgary will definitely be a bigger player at free agency because of, potentially players coming off the books and moving elsewhere. And I also made that video where I talked about, should we go after Taylor Hall in the offseason if he doesn't resign Arizona there. So if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey. Home the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders. Just make sure you hit like, subscribe, follow along with that bell icon to be notified as soon as this Calgary sports fan uploads anything. Obviously, I mostly do Calgary sports here, but I also do personal vlogs and attempt at comedy, and I even talk about something else out of random there. And I also have my social media links in the description below there to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey. As I say here, go Flames go, and you know, trade deadline is a lot like Boxing Day or Black Friday, where it's overrated. There's definitely a lot of activity on it, and I'm obviously going to follow along here to see how the Flames do and the rest of the league does, and see if potentially any eye-raising trades happen. But I'm not expecting any to come this way, but you never know. But so I'll see you in the next video.